everyone, it's Jill here. Welcome to my sunroom. Today I'm going to be doing a story planning video and I'm working with the Cozy Season kit by Coco Daisy. Whenever I get a new kit in, the first thing I like to do is think about different story ideas, right? So what are some of the stories that I might tell? And I write those down here on the right-hand side of this story planning sheet. And then on the bottom, I like to write down or keep track of all the different albums that I have going because I like to spread kits out across multiple albums. So here's all the product that I have. There's papers, rub-ons, chipboard, a couple of cute tags came in this kit, some puffy stickers. There are these little die cut embellishments, of course, lots of fun things to play with here. And then there's the 4x6 cards and all of the 3x4 cards. This is the second Coco Daisy kit that I've worked with. And so all of their cards are double-sided, which just gives a lot more things to work with, right? But for me, what I realized is I kind of need to split the cards out into two piles. So this one here on the right, I like both sides of the card. I could find something for either side of them, or I'm drawn to either side. The pile that's on the left, however, I prefer the one side that I've got facing up. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to clear my desk a little bit. But, oh, I've got some other materials I forgot to pull in. I found this little tag. I've got a little orange ampersand. And what else do I have? Word phrase stickers by Ali Edwards and some alpha stickers that came with this kit and another kit that another Coco Daisy kit, but the colors coordinate. So I've got those things kind of off to the side. But what I'm going to do here at the start, I'm going to clear off my desk and I'm going to kind of deal the cards, right? I'm going to take all those cards where I liked or preferred one side and I'm going to lay those all out. And then I'm going to start going through the rest of the cards and figure out what I want to match or what I want to pair with those cards. Now these two cards here, I'm actually going to use them in different projects. I'm not going to use them in scrapbook stuff. So I'm just going to put those off to the side completely. And then I'm going to pull over the other 3x4 cards. And here's where I'm going to really start kind of like I said, kind of matching them up, right? Almost like a card dealer. And so you'll see me flipping over the cards, front side, back side. That one there, I decided, oh, actually, I really only do like one side, or I prefer one side. So as I go along here and continue, organizing my cards, I just wanted to say a couple of things about story planning, or my process of story planning. So first of all, I first saw story planning done by Krystal Idunate on YouTube back in, 2022 maybe, which was my first introduction into Ali Edwards products, into what's sort of known as modern memory keeping, right? The use of pocket cards, all of that was new to me. And so my style of story planning is 100% influenced by Krystal. And I just think it's important to acknowledge that because, our community, we're a community of creative people. We come up with different ideas, but we also scrap lift from each other, right? And it's really important to me to subscribe credit to the people who have inspired or influenced me as much as possible. So my process is absolutely influenced by Krystal. Now, of course, she's not the only person who has done story planning. If you're an Ali Edwards subscriber, you know that Linda Jordan does story planning inside the Classroom for Ali's story kits. Denine Zielinski does story planning with Ali's scrapbook kits. And then I've also seen Victoria Marie of Victoria Marie Designs. She has a YouTube channel and she has done a version of this where she'll put products together basically. So she's making herself little mini kits to work through layouts. And I've heard her say, which I think is really cute, put your products to work, give them a job, right? So when stuff comes in your home, identify what you're going to use it for so that it's easy to get working on it when you've got the time. So I just wanted to kind of give credit to all of these amazing women that I've seen who do story planning, and there are probably others out there that I don't know about. If you know of them, comment and let me know. This process is actually one of my most favorite things about scrapbooking, if I'm honest. I really just love getting all of the pieces and putting them together, assembling them, figuring out what I like, what I don't like, how I can make something work for me, right? Sometimes you see a particular product and it may not be, you know, right away it may not speak to you, but you're like, oh, if I did this with it, then, you know, I could see how it might really work. So, yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to kind of acknowledge that before, yeah, I just want to acknowledge that. Okay, so here you see I'm continuing to just sort of figure out what cards I want to go where. I'm getting some other story ideas are being sparked as I'm looking through the products. So I think there was a card that said there's beauty in simplicity, and simplicity is my one little word this year. So I knew for sure I wanted to pull some products together to tell a story for that album. So I'm just sort of working through here. And, you know, this is a long video. I will acknowledge I was able to edit it down to about 40 minutes. But, you know, let me know in the comments, is this something that's of interest? Do you like seeing all of the really, I would call it really deep sausage making, right? Do you like seeing all of the joining together of the products? Or are you just more interested in, you know, the actual sketches and what I'm going to do with things? So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I've been very chatty at the start of this video. I think I'll put the rest of this part to music, and then I'll come back for the actual layout sketches. So I've cleared my desk off and I'm going to get started on actually sketching my ideas. The first one here is going to be a simple 4-pocket layout, and this is very much how I tend to plan. I usually start with the very basic or simple design ideas first, and then I focus on things that are a little bit more intricate or more complex. So on this layout, what I plan to do here is I'm going to add 2 photos of my daughter eating ice cream. And this is a really perfect example. It's an ice cream story with the cozy season kit. You may not think these things go together, but what I did was went through my photo library and I noticed that I had pictures of her from October, and she's wearing a yellow and white striped shirt. So it goes really well with these cards, with this product. So I'm looking here at the wooden card. I think I'm gonna put my journaling on a piece of vellum and layer it over that wood shape. So I've got on this sunny day card, I'll do some embellishing there to make that sort of my title piece. And then I'll add 2 pictures and journaling. Very simple and straightforward. Okay, the next story I'm going to work on here is also going to be a pocket page layout. So it's going to be a 2-sided 4-pocket page spread. And I'm using this to tell a story. My husband and I are planning to buy a house sometime next year. And there's a neighborhood that we are interested in, but we hadn't actually been there. So earlier this month, there was an open house of a place that we were interested in. And so we decided to just make a trip, make a day of it. We took a day trip and went and explored the neighborhood, explored the town. And I really wanted to tell that story in our albums, right? Because this is really the beginning of our house hunting journey. And so as much as it was a fun weekend, it's actually, feels like a bit of a milestone moment for us. So here I've got this tree card that I'm going to use for a title piece. And then this other card, it says, I think it says top 3, and I'm going to use that to hold my journaling. So just sort of like very basic top 3 things about the day. And I'm making a note here that I want to use those alpha stickers layered over the tree. And that's going to be my title card. And then here you'll see I'm sketching out. This is where I'm going to put just sort of 3 basic fun things from the day. I've mapped out room for 4 photos here, and then I've got this other card that says time well spent, and I thought that the imagery on the card, the design on the card went well with the other 2 cards that I pulled for this layout. But it says time well spent at the top, and I have another card that says time well spent that I prefer with this layout. So you're going to see that in just a moment. But what I'm trying to do here is just figure out, can I use one of these chipboard pieces to cover up and make like a new title on that card? And I'll probably use that card to house a photo. So here you see I've got that card that says time well spent, and it's got other trees on it, but the graphic doesn't really match the tree that I have on the upper left-hand side, right? So what I'm going to do is just cut that out where it says time well spent. I'm going to cut that out into a smaller, rectangular shape, and I'm going to mount it on top of this sort of plaid paper, and I'll make just sort of my own filler card. And I've also grabbed over the orange phrase stickers. These are from Allie Edwards. I think it's from the October Story by the Month kit. But the colors work, right? Of course. So I always pull over my word phrase stickers to see how I might be able to incorporate them. So I'll probably use that to embellish the photos that go into this spread. So that's this one. I'll put in my envelope and move on to the next story. Okay, this next one is very simple, and I'm using a single 4x6 card as my jumping off point. What I liked about it here were these pumpkins, and on Halloween, this year, I picked my daughter up from school, and on our walk home, I took some pictures of her. She was sitting on like a display of pumpkins and a hay bale in front of one of our grocery stores. And she also played in the leaves a little bit while we were on our walk home. So I just want to include those photos in her album and tell a little bit of that story. So I'm using this card here, and what I plan to do is put 2 photos at the top. This will be a 3 pocket, and then I'll use that card as a flip up, and underneath that I will hold some other photos and my journaling. Now, what I'm doing here is my daughter was Elsa for Halloween, and so she's wearing a bright blue dress in all these pictures. So I pulled over my embellishment stash I have organized by color, and I just grabbed some blue pieces. I'm not sure which one is going to work best, but I'll add one of those chipboards onto one of the photos of her just to help embellish the spread. And so that's what I did there. This next layout is going to be for my one little word album. So my one little word this year is simplicity. And this card says there's beauty in simplicity. So perfect. I'm sure others of you do this, but whenever I go through my products, if I find something that has my word on it, I immediately put it to the side and I use it in my album. And what I like to do is I do follow the prompts from the Allie Edwards classroom on this, but I also like to just tell my own stories using products that are coming in, that I'm getting from various places. I just like to, use those and create a layout of my own, sort of ideation. So here, well, first of all, there's a rub-on that I've put at the bottom of that card. I just wanted to embellish the card a little bit. And there was a rub-on of, like a hot drink. So I'm not sure if it's tea or coffee, but it felt cozy to me. So I added that onto the bottom of that card. And then the layout design here, I'm going to have to look this up and then link it in the notes because I don't remember who I saw this, but I just saw someone on Instagram who posted a reel where they used this design here. They took 3x4 cards and stacked them together the way I've gotten the ones here. And the middle one is a flip up with some journaling underneath. And then they paired like a long, vertical photo or one or two vertical photos. I actually can't exactly remember, but I'm basically scraplifting this idea. I'm scraplifting this, the idea of putting the cards together in a column and then pairing that with a vertical photo. So that's what I'm doing here, is just sort of sketching this idea that, again, I'll construct this. There's beauty and simplicity will flip up, and I'll probably add a photo and some journaling perhaps underneath that card, as well as the long vertical photo. And right now I'm just kind of like futzing about because I'm trying to figure out if I want which side of the paper I want the card versus the photo. So I'm just, making some notes for myself here on that. And then I also pulled over my alarm's going off there. I also pulled over the puffy stickers because they've got some blue and kind of rose-colored leaves there that I thought I could use to embellish the photo or even some of the cards. So I'm going to just throw that into the envelope with those supplies. Okay, next up, again, simple pocket pages. Again, this is how I start my process always, is to sort of knock out these simple ideas. So this card has some yellow leaves on it, and I recently took pictures of my feet in leaves around our neighborhood, right? It's fall here on the East Coast, and so as the trees are shedding their leaves, I was trying to take a few photos of myself, and I have one where I think the colors are yellow enough, and so I just wanted to have a home for that photo, and I'll probably tell a story about what it's like for fall, or what I like about fall. Now, what I also grabbed over, I have some of my Allie Edwards products on my desk here. This was the November Story by the Month kit, and this vellum piece with the gold exclamation point was in that stack, and I thought that would go nicely on top of this photo because on top of the card with the leaf photos, because I think my photo, the leaves are not as vibrant. And so I just wanted to kind of tone that card down. And to be honest, this is one of the challenges I have with some of the imagery in the Cocoa Daisy kits. It's not that I don't love them. They have really nice photography, but I feel like those actual photos compete with my own photos, and maybe my own photos don't look as nice, right? So anyway, you see I'm going to use the card that had that kind of blue label at the top. I'll just, again, capture some journaling. I may even handwrite it just to make it simple, and put that photo of myself in the leaves, and that'll be that particular layout complete. The next one up here, it says books. The kind of quote card here says books and pumpkin spice and everything nice. And then the card that I'm working on right now on the lower right is like says fall is my favorite or something like that. And so what I wanted to do, fall is my favorite season, and I wanted to just capture the things that I love about fall. So this might go in my, I recently started an album all about me, so my me album, because this isn't really driven by anything family related. It's just sort of me expressing my preference or sharing something that things that I like about fall. So I think I'm going to number those 1 through 5. I'll probably, again, handwrite those, though maybe I'll print the journaling because depending how much I have to say, there's not a lot of space there. But I just wanted to capture a few things that I like about fall. I'll probably add a couple of photos of myself and maybe wearing a fall sweater or something like that. And then I've just got these little die cut pieces. There's like a knit hat and a scarf, and then a chipboard that has, again, it's like a cup of a hot drink or something like that. So I'm just looking to see how I can add these or use these little pieces to embellish the photos that I'm going to either find or take to add to the spread. And here, again, just writing myself a little note because I'm definitely not an artist, so trying to draw a scarf and a hat on that bottom left card, I wouldn't remember what I was trying to do there. So that's what I'm going to do with this layout, and then I'll put this in an envelope and move on to the next one. Okay, this next story is going to be a story about my daughter at the playground. And again, one of the things I like to do when I get a kit is go through my photos and pull out ones that match the color scheme or the themes of the kit. And so I had some pictures of my daughter from the fall, and in the picture, she's wearing sort of a maroon colored top. And I think that color goes well with the top stripe in this card, the stripe card that's at the top. And then the leaves also, I think, kind of would go well with that, with the colors of the photo for embellishment. So what I'm going to do is just stack those 2 cards. I'm going to make them a 3x8, 2x2 pocket. And then, is that 2x2? No, a 3x8 2 pocket on the left, and then a full page photo on the right. I'll use the leaves to embellish the photo, and then I will probably use alpha stickers on that striped card. It had the ampersand. I added that orange felt ampersand, and so, fun and games, or, I don't know, something. I'll come up. Quickly, that one in the middle there, I had a single card that had some pumpkins on it. I just moved that to the side because I want to use that to tell a story about my baby shower, actually. One of my baby showers when I was pregnant was about expecting a little pumpkin because my shower was in October. But I need to grab some other things to go with that, right? It's just one single card, and I definitely need to dip into my stash, and I just didn't want to, get into that right now. So I kind of quickly move that one off to the side, and I'm starting to work on this other one. So here, this story is going to be for one of my teenagers. She graduates from high school in June, and I'm doing a graduation album for her. So doing an album as a graduation present for her. So this story, this card here says, "Home is where I hibernate." If you are a parent of a teenager, they definitely like to hibernate in their rooms. And so I just wanted to tell like a cozy story about that. So what I'm going to do, I've got like a label, what is that? I think I cut it from a card, a 3x4 card. So some sort of label at the top I'll use, as decoration there. I'm going to put a couple of photos, and then the "Home is where I hibernate" card, I'm going to tuck into a pocket. I'm just going to kind of I'll cut out a pocket and adhere that onto that wood grain paper. So that way the card can be pulled in and out, and I'll just put my journaling on the back. Now, fortunately for me, on this double-sided card, the back side also says something like, "Home is where I hibernate," or "You can find me hibernating." So I actually don't need to cover the back of that card. I'm just going to use that, put my journaling on it, and then call that one done. So that'll be a fun one to put together and add into her album. This next one here, I grabbed over some additional products. So those tags are actually from Allie Edwards, and You saw at the beginning, I had that kind of, what color is that? It's kind of like a tan golden color. I had grabbed that because it went with the colors of the kit. I thought it went well with the colors of the kit. But as I was working on my story planning, what I decided to do, this card actually, so sorry, the 4x6 card says, as I remember it, or I remember it as October days are often remembered, something like that. And then it has like a little saying. My husband and I were married in October, and my mom recently asked me if I would make an album for her. So, a story idea that came to mind was to tell a story about our wedding, again, because we got married in October, and add that into my mom's album. And we were married on a Sunday. And so we actually had kind of like 3 different events over the course of the weekend. So that Friday was my mom's birthday, and we had a little surprise party for her with everyone who had arrived in town. Saturday was my bridal shower, and then Sunday was the wedding. And so I went into my stash and found 2 other little of those mini tags. I knew it was a set, and I was hoping that I had ones where the colors kind of coordinated. And so I'm going to use those, and I'll probably stamp titles on each of those smaller tags, like happy birthday, mom, bridal shower tea, and then Jill and David's wedding or something like that. And then I'm going to make my own longer tags, and I will put journaling on one side and photos on the other. So those will, that 4x6 card is going to be adhered onto that sunburst paper, and I'm going to use that to make a pocket. This is one of my go-to designs. I love taking a 4x6 card, making it a pocket, sticking some tags and photos in it, and then I think it's got like a nice impact, and it's a good way to use some of your supplies. So that's my idea here. On the left-hand side, I will probably put a full page photo, something made probably of me and my mom, or maybe my husband and I with my parents. And then one of the rub-ons here was just like a nice little fall scene. It was sort of like some trees and a lake or something like that. And so I think I can make that fit on that lower right-hand corner of the card, again, just to give it a little extra something so it's not so plain. So that is going to be this layout. All right, moving on. This next one here is, actually I've got two different layouts because I want to use that yellow starburst paper for both of them. So I kind of put them together so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to do. Okay, the one I'm working on here, I want to tell a story from fall of 2022. I took my oldest stepdaughter on a little weekend road trip to visit a couple of colleges when she was in the midst of her college search. So I'm going to take that brown, kind of maroon and yellow plaid paper. I'm going to use that as sort of the background, and I'm going to cut this yellow starburst paper. I'm going to make that sort of a strip across the top, and I'm going to use the puffy alpha stickers for my title. So it's going to say college visits. So that's what I've sketched there at the top. And then at the bottom, I will put, a few pictures. I have to look and see what I've got just to be, illustrative photos from that trip. And then I also want to use this tag here that says October. It's got these really nice, again, like this artwork of these trees, this fall foliage. And there's another little die cut tag I'll just kind of add, again, to add some additional embellishment just to make it a little bit more interesting. When I first started this, I thought that I would put that tag on the same, somehow adhere it or put it on the same page as the photos, right? They're on the right-hand side, and you see me kind of playing around with the scale and trying to figure out the size. But as I looked at it, I thought it's going to be too crowded. And so what I really do want to make this, or do need to make this, a 2-page layout. So I'm just shuffling things around here. I'm going to do the page that I sketched out initially, so college visits with that kind of banner and the photos, that'll go on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, because I love a full page photo, I will find one, blow up a full page pic, and then add the tag onto that photo. So again, I'll find one that has a lot of negative space on the side, or create that in how I crop the photo. And then I'm going to add vellum here. I'll probably stitch I'll probably try to stitch this vellum onto the full page photo. That will become the pocket that holds this tag, and then you can take the tag out and still see the full picture. So that is how I'm going to put this one together. Okay, the next story I'm going to get working on here is a layout about my daughter and a music class that she used to take. But before I do that, I just wanted to quickly cut this yellow starburst paper. So, again, I wanted to use a strip of that in the college visits story. And so here I'm just cutting, making sure that I've measured enough of that yellow paper so that I can go ahead and add that to the materials for that particular story. And then I'll move that to the side. Okay, so this story here, again, going through my photos, I found a picture of my daughter, a few pictures actually, of her in this music class that she used to take when she was younger. And, the pictures are outdoors, it's in the fall. There's some nice, fall foliage leaves on the ground. And so I decided that I wanted to just sort of take that leaf card, that 4x6 card that has the leaf pattern on it. And I thought it went well with this the yellow paper. One, I thought the colors went well with these two products, but also my daughter's wearing yellow bows in her hair in these photos. So again, sometimes take inspiration from the color scheme of your photos and pull that in, and just sort of helps make a cohesive look. So I'm just looking here. I think there are a few rub-ons that I might want to use for this particular story. And as I'm going through, I was playing with the vellum. I was trying to see, should I, cut the cards? Should I make it a two, what should I do? Should it be two 4x6s? Should it be, two, a three pocket? What is that? Two 3x4s and a 4x6. So I was just sort of playing around with, in my mind, with how did I want this to look. And so ultimately what I land on is I want to use the starburst paper to hold a title. So I'm going to cut that into a 4x6, and that'll go at the top. And I will, come up with some sort of fun title for, about my daughter's music class. And then I'm going to use the leaf paper, and I will probably mount a smaller size, right? I'll use that just to kind of frame out a photo. But I'm going to turn that 4x6 leaf card into a flip out. So the card I'll put it on, I forget what it's called. I'll have to link the product, but there's a little pocket that you can slip that card into, and then it'll kind of flip over to the side. So I'm going to put the card there, and then the pocket that I'm going to use for the actual photos is one of those that has a 4x6 at the top, and then at the bottom it has 6 slots of 2x2 photos. So I'll add some 2x2 photos there at the bottom, and then I also grabbed some of the rub-ons, and I'm going to put those on, probably white cardstock, and use those to fill in some of the 2x2 squares. And really that's just to give, again, the spread a little bit more interest, on top of the fact that I don't think I have, that many photos, right? I think I probably have 4, maybe 5. So here you see me just sort of like making a note, like this card is going to flip out, and there's nothing going to, there's nothing on the left-hand side. This is really just like a one-sided layout. And then this card, the leaf card, also has a design on the back, but it's got a lot of white space, right? It's a journaling card on the back. The front side is a pattern, but the back side is a journaling spot. So that's where I'm going to put my story. So this is how I'm going to put this one together. And again, this one ended up being very simple. It took me a little bit to kind of figure out what I wanted to do in terms of using the products and the materials, but I'll be happy to get this story documented. My daughter doesn't take this music class anymore. This will be for one of her younger year albums, but it's not a story that I've told yet. So I like the opportunity to fill that hole in for her in her albums. Okay, so that's my story planning session for today. I've got 1, 2, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 12 layouts altogether that I was able to sketch out today. I also have this one card off to the side. Again, I didn't design anything for it, but I will come back to that at some point, I'm sure. The products that I did not use, I have this little card here with this really cute girl on it, and a couple of other cards from the kit. These will go into other projects. So I've got, my planner and things like that. I'll kind of use those for fun embellishments in other places. I had this paper here with the boots and the flowers, this 4x6 card, a little bit of that yellow paper, and then this is a card that I cut apart, but I always like to keep the remnants until I finish all of my assembly of my stories. I've also got the rub-ons here, a little pile of die cuts. There's also the chipboard as well as the stamp set that came with this kit. So these are all of the pieces that I've got that I didn't, immediately identify a place for in my layouts, but I will keep all of this stuff to the side, and then much of this will find its way into my layouts as I start to assemble and find, other opportunities to embellish. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.